Well, it just makes you appreciative of the history and of the opportunity you've been given. So yeah, just makes you really appreciate, you know, the facilities that we have and what the club's come from.
So I guess give us a background on the club, which has pretty much a great history we now know, and yeah, we just had went to where it all started, I guess, at GLENFERRIE.
Now regarded as one of the best centre-half backs of all time. So yeah, he's just an absolute legend of the club, and yeah, you can't really speak more highly of someone like Knightsy.
Most successful clubs, best facilities, great resources, wonderful people. True. And as Justin mentioned earlier on, one of the clubs at the moment that is situated at a level that so many others are envious of. But what I want to tell you about is that it wasn't always that way.
The fact that we nearly merged with Melbourne Footy Club, yeah, it was such a big commitment not to merge with them, and yeah, to open my eyes a lot as well. And
the fight that our presidency and our leadership sort of went through to make sure that we didn't merge and that Hawthorn stayed as their own club. So yeah, that was pretty inspiring to hear about.
The mailbox it's probably more like a personal trait rather than a story behind it. It's just I'm staying connected with everyone, and yeah, I think I have good interpersonal skills, so I like to communicate with people, constantly talking to one another and feel connected in that way. So yeah, just the mailbox, delivering the messages, staying connected to people. Yeah.
I chose this because I don't mind a bit of milk. No, not only because of that, but as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of my mum, how caring she is, and not only my mum, but all the mums around the world. Yeah.
I'm sort of focused on me and my dad sort of kind of nerdy, but sort of out of space and all that. Kind of like space travel and all that, so it's just a way I connect with my dad a lot. He's not really into footy that much. So.
Beach, the reason I chose this one was reminding of summer holidays for the past sort of 20 years with cousins, family, friends. We'd often go down 6 p.m, 7 p.m, just sit there, have barbecue, fish and chips, all together.
I chose tin shed on like a farm sort of thing. I don't know. Larry probably understands a bit more. Moving to the city, it's probably a bit different to back home and stuff. You know, and it's sort of like being a bit quiet, a bit calm, I guess. You know, I go fishing by myself and I surf by myself, so I don't mind that independence.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal, pretty awesome. Anyway, to go and watch a AFL game. Sort of didn't really get to do much of that from Wodonga, so yeah, to go was awesome, and then sort of to know some of the plans that we're trying to implement, and then you really notice it, made it even more enjoyable to watch. And every time Cyril touched a footy, all the chants and that, and getting around him, so that was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, it was pretty special, I guess. All us rookies sort of went for a feed before, and just knowing that you've been training for the whole summer with the boys that are about to run out in the G.
Yeah, so I had a few mates debuted, one for Collingwood, Jaden Stevenson against us, so you always want them to do well, but it's Jaden's sake, I want him to do well, but not too well that Hawthorn lost. But it's good to see the young blokes get a go. And
it's very cool because you play with them in tack up and in the nationals and such like that, but yeah, it's pretty cool watching them debut, doing what they love. It makes me want to work a bit harder actually, because they're getting their opportunity to play in AFL, but yeah, it just makes me want to work hard on the track, and yeah.
I got a cafe in Burke Street, which I guess people who don't have a house can sort of go to, get a meal, sort of get some shelter for I guess a night. And that was the plan, to go there and sort of make a meal for them and have a chat to them, see what their lives have consisted of, I guess.
Didn't really go to plan, as in there was an outbreak in a couple of drugs apparently within the city. A couple of the homeless people got their hands on it. So yeah, it was a bit of danger downstairs at the cafe where we were supposed to be staying, so we weren't allowed to stay there. But
we got told a few stories of some homeless people, and you know, it makes you really put your life into perspective, I guess. You know, we're pretty fortunate to be in the position we are. So
At about 10:30, 11 o'clock, we open the doors downstairs, and we see about anywhere between 130, 150 people come in and sleep on the floor downstairs. So they're people that don't have anywhere else to go.
But it was still a good experience. So we got to hear some of their stories about how they've ended up in that situation, and some of them really, it's not so much their fault that they've ended up being homeless. So it was
pretty much opens your eyes about how you perceive them and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty sad, some of the stories, but just get a bit of understanding.
Clearly the number one priority is our safety as a group. So, and we're not going to compromise that under any stretch. So if that means that we don't have the ability to do what we hoped we would get out of this, then we're just going to jump back on the bus and go back to the club, and we go home. And then we continue our induction as planned tomorrow. And that's not a reflection of these guys. This is reality, unfortunately. This is what happens on the streets of Melbourne, as sad as that is. And your heart breaks when you hear some of those stories, but I reckon these two guys can sit here for hours and tell us, unfortunately, stories like that.